Coming at you live.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Liberty Bowl. It is, of course, a live stream Friday. As you guys know, every Friday we come together here. We kind of wrap up the news for the week. Come down from a long week of working, smoke a little bit of herb, and discuss news, politics, current events, and whatever the fuck is going on in the collapse of the, Western world. Right? But anyway, how you doing today, Liberty Swine? As always, my co-host here.
Doing damn fine, man. A little bit whipped, slaving out here. But everything's great, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, shit, doing all right. Weird fucking heat waves. Then fucking next day it's 100-mile-an-hour winds. But other than that, it's not too bad. But obviously, haven't been having the greatest hair day today. What with the 100-mile-an-hour fucking winds we've been having all day. But anyway, not too big of a news week this week. I got to be honest, it does feel a little bit, almost like a calm before the storm. We do have a couple of things though. We do have a January 6th praying grandma, as she's been called, was actually convicted today in a DC court. Of course, nobody expected anything other, but she's facing up to a year in prison. And up to $200,000 in fines. We'll be talking about that here in just a little bit. We also got a whole bunch of news and setbacks with Donald Trump court cases out of both New York and Georgia. Both two setbacks there. It's not necessarily setbacks, but just not necessarily slam dunk dismissals. To put it that way. So it's not necessarily, it's not over yet, but either way, not necessarily news that we wanted to hear, but either way, we also got Donald Trump is selling Bibles. That raised a little bit of controversy within the conservative sphere this past week. We'll be talking about that. We also got illegals, lots of them. They're going to be voting for who is the president in 2024. That's pretty much without a doubt. We all kind of figured that that's what it's going to be. And what with the numbers that have been coming out this past week of non-ID voters registering to vote, being within the millions, it's looking like the fix is in to put it in a turn of phrase. We also got illegals bringing, of course, diseases. Not just drugs and crime, but also disease. Tuberculosis outbreaks have been, popping up around the Chicago area, as well as measles outbreaks. Of course, originating from migrant shelters. We'll be talking about that. Earthquakes have been shaking up the world. Really, we have a major earthquake in Taiwan, a whole bunch of damage from that coming out with this last week, and then earlier today we have an earthquake that I guess the epicenter was at one of Donald Trump's golf resorts or golf courses. Definitely some interesting stuff to talk about there. We'll be I guess breaking down our thoughts on the is this the wraths of God? I'm just kidding. Let's see. A couple things coming out of the Israel-Gaza, Israel-Palestine conflict, whatever you want to put it. We have the U.S. and Israel are bracing for retaliation from Iran. This is coming out of intelligence agencies that are basically saying that they got intel that Iran is planning on retaliating against both Israel and the United States. Of course, we don't have details as to where the plans are going to take place, but from what we've I guess gathered through intel, it's going to be some sort of drone strike, right? So we'll be talking about that. The Blinken basically says, we also got I forget what the thing is called, but basically the Gaza aid that got struck by Israel. We're going to be talking about that. It's pretty much just all kind of wrapped up into one big old thing. We also got Biden basically saying that he's not going to be refilling the strategic oil reserves. Of course, he did drain the strategic oil reserves once his approval rating started going down due to the instant increase in gas prices as soon as he took office. And then he went ahead and drained the strategic oil reserves, sold them off to go ahead and lower gas prices. And then now gas prices are back up. It is election season. So where he did say that he was going to refill the strategic oil reserves, he is now not going to, because of course that would raise gas prices, and it's an election season. All right, what else are strategic reserves for? But we also have Anthony Blinken declaring that Ukraine will join NATO, and basically all of that brings us all into the looming World War III that is, at this point looking like an inevitability. But other than that, not too much going on with the news this week. So the praying January 6th granny. So she was convicted today. Let's see. I got an article here from Gateway Pundit. 71-year-old grandma convicted on all charges by D.C. jury after praying in Capitol on January 6th. All right, so Washington, D.C. jury convicted Rebecca Lavarez of Falcon, Colorado, known on social media as the J6 praying grandma, on 4 federal misdemeanor charges Thursday related to her participation in the January 6, 2021 incursion, is the word they use, on the U.S. Capitol. It's actually, it's really kind of funny to see, what are they going to use? Is it an insurrection? Was it a riot? Was it a protest? Was it a demonstration? But I guess this one was an incursion. So the 71-year-old faces up to a year in prison and more than $200,000 in fines, the Colorado Springs Gazette reported. According to federal court documents, Lavarez's crimes were entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds, disorderly conduct in a restricted area, disorderly conduct in the Capitol building, and parading, demonstrating, or picketing in the Capitol. Federal prosecutors said in a court filing that cell phone data and video footage shows Lavarez entering the Capitol at approximately 2:43 on January 6, 2021, about 90 minutes after the conclusion of then President Donald Trump's speech on the ellipse. She then walked to the Capitol Rotunda and exited the building at approximately 2:53 p.m. So Lavarez has been in the Capitol for about 10 minutes. The DOJ did not accuse her of engaging in violence or destroying any property. So, yeah. Go ahead and just kind of cough there of what's going on here, but of course, just another one's biting the dust, so to speak, in the J6, what is clearly a left wing, or basically an establishment setup. It's just a insurrection hoax in order to basically paint their political opponents as violent insurrectionists. And as we know, that is the picture that they have been trying to portray for the last 4 years, right? So I don't know, what's your thoughts on the whole the praying granny, man?
Well, like you said, she was in there about 10 minutes. They're not even accusing her of committing a crime other than walking into the people's house, where she proceeded to pray on the steps and then in the rotunda, right? Let's literally someone praying. We know that everything is on film. This is one of the most recorded places in the country. And, it's pretty easy to deduce that, someone was involved in, activities that would amount to a crime or not. Just being there obviously shouldn't be one. They're using an act that or a bill that was passed, I believe, in like 2002, and it was basically for business accounting, and they've twisted the meaning like they do of everything, every law, bill, whatever that's passed. The original intention is, tossed to the wayside, and it's used to weaponize against the people of the United States that pay these motherfuckers wages, right? Like you said, it was a honeypot, complete setup, man. Not only do we know that they were firing into the crowd when they weren't committing any acts, no violence, no one had rushed the Capitol. They were outside, peacefully protesting. And then they started firing flash grenades and whatnot, and pushing old ladies down the steps. And of course, all this is on film that's been released. And this is all the Biden regime has is orange hatlers, and these people tried to destroy his democracies. We got 1,300 people. Needless to say, they got 100% fucking conviction rate, which is statistically impossible. You know what I mean? and obvious bias fucking judges or scared to do their fucking job. With the lizard fucking garland looming over their backs, to do this to a grandma, a great grandmother, is just absolute fucking ridiculousness. And anyone watching this, regardless left or right, if you can't tell that this is political prosecution, fuck, as usual, plenty of parking lot space to sell you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Clearly, this is a weaponization. It's like I said, I think even this sentence, specifically right here, again, like I said, a lot of the shit that's going to be going on right now is going to be again another kind of a honeypot trying to push the right towards some sort of a aggression. I guess they're trying to recreate January 6th just before the event, because obviously, I mean, just before the election, because obviously, the shock and awe of the J6 committee has at this point just about worn away, and it's been replaced with the clear weaponization of justice against their political opponents by the Biden regime. So I mean, obviously, that a lot of this stuff that we're seeing is it's basically that.
Yeah, and everyone in government that's supposed to be fucking, well, I should say the majority of that claim conservatism or MAGA, are absolute coward backstabbers. Mike Johnson, huge example, fucking Democrat cuck. But then you have like Clay Higgins again. To me, it's almost like this is something to run on. This is something to rally the base, but making threats that when we release the rest of the fucking videos from January 6th, that all these arguments are going to be tossed to the wayside. But yet they're attacking people, even on their own side, for stating any kind of not only support or pointing out the fact that it's political prosecution. Like RFK just had a campaign, email go out where they listed J6 defendants as protesters, and of course the left melted down and pressured them to the point to where they canceled the person's contract that set up the email concept, and of course publicly apologized. You know what I mean? But everybody knows, man. Everybody knows at this point.
Oh yeah. Yep. That one thing that I do kind of wonder about is again, where are all of the 40,000 hours worth of footage? Why aren't the 4chaners and the fucking internet watchdogs, why haven't they been spending the last 2 years sifting through it, trying to get every single piece of relevant evidence? Of course, remember, it was released, but then it was slow walked. It was released to Tucker Carlson, and then of course Tucker Carlson clipped together some pertinent footage, and then that was it. That's done.
Right, because it's not fully released yet. It's not.
Right.
Even Mike Johnson said he was gonna release the rest of it, but that they had to go about the rest of it in a different process where they were gonna fog out people's faces and whatnot. And other than that, you haven't heard anything except for like threats, like I said, from like Congressman Clay Higgins that says, "Well, when we release this," but again, it's almost just like a talking point, something to rally the troops. We're gonna come to the rescues. But if these people have any chance, okay, you got one, Trump saying, I'm willing to pardon these people, and then two, Supreme Court is supposed to hear a case regarding this, just about the law that I had mentioned, to determine whether they can twist the intention of the law and if it could be used in this fashion to prosecute people outside of a business, ramification, basically. You know what I mean? If it's not tied to a business, then basically they're arguing that it's a law that entails business. It's not, it's not legal what they're doing. The same thing they're doing with Trump in New York. They're taking laws that have never been used and going about it in a novel concept, to come up with their own determination on what they can use those laws for.
Right. Yep. That's like I said, it's really what we're seeing all over with every single one of Trump's cases. That's what this has really been, because I've been chat GPTing, and I've been looking up how common these types of rulings are. Like how common is a summary judgment in a civil fraud case, and that's very, very uncommon because of the fact that generally when it comes to trying to prove fraud, it really kind of helps if you're able to present evidence. And that's really kind of important when it comes to civil fraud cases, right? So of course that didn't happen. So generally, a lot of this stuff is clear weaponization of justice. Another thing to keep in mind in terms of the J6 praying granny, Ray Epps.
Right.
Ray Epps, dude. That guy fucking got off essentially scot free.
Is on
Fucking
video 2 days in a row screaming, "We have to go into the Capitol and committing acts, whispering in people's ear just before they destroy barricades, yada yada." And you see, like you said, praying grandmas in there for literally walking into a building and kneeling, whereas this guy was inciting fucking violence.
All right. And then now fucking this, great grandmother is facing, up to a year in federal prison or, up to $200,000 in fines. And really, this is just making examples of people, And so, really,
that's not setting much of an example to put a fucking old lady in prison. If anything, it's setting the example that these people are piece of shit fucking reptiles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really just, the sycophants on the left nowadays. They're like, that's how justice works. And like, nobody's above the law, Like really,
yeah, that's because they're burning down fucking, Wendy's and shit, and they don't get prosecuted. And if they do, they got the vice president raising money to get them out.
Yeah. It's pure fucking, orchestrated destruction of our nation. And it's purely done in the name of, we don't like Donald Trump. He's coming in and he's wrecking our toys, That's what the whole fucking shit's really about.
You got to destroy the democratic process to protect democracy, and
Right.
it's like the environment, right? I mean, you see all the damage they do with the mining for cobalt, yada yada. The illegals pouring through the border. You see the jungles just destroyed, full of trash, but they're like, "We're saving the environment. So we got to take your car away."
Right. Yeah, we got to regulate these fucking small farming communities in these fucking desolate, regions and shit. Fucking regulate them out of fucking business so that for the environment. And meanwhile, fucking the cities that are regulating these small fucking island nations and shit like that across the fucking world are literally smokestacked fucking haze of fog over the fucking top of them. That the streets are covered in shit and litter and fucking crime out the ass. And meanwhile, they are over there fucking trying to preach to other people, farmers, people that work off the land, how to take care of the land. It's complete.
And they're telling
ridiculous.
the environment, global warming, our carbon footprint's too big. Let's import fucking 10 million fucking new people in here and raise their standard of living 100 times. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's what do you think? These people aren't going to use heat, air conditioning, vehicles? Just keep going with it. Everything that they tell you is fucking bad. Gas stoves, fucking, hot water tanks. Everything that they say, you're increasing the usage of exponentially on a monthly fucking basis at this point.
Yep. Yeah, and fucking at the same time, all these it's really just kind of haphazard, control mechanisms. None of this stuff really has much actual, pragmatic, actual use. We want to switch everything to solar and wind turbines. Like we're gonna have to cut back on our energy usage, because it's not as efficient as things like coal and nuclear power or anything like that. We definitely don't want to do nuclear power, but we want to get to all solar and wind power and everything, and we want to make sure that everybody switches to electric vehicles, and then we want to make sure that nobody's allowed to drive those electric vehicles. And it's, like I say, it's just regulations to fix the regulations. It's just really they're never going to come to the point of just admitting like, yeah, maybe we're not that great at this. Maybe we should let the private sector figure out these sort of issues as they've basically been doing. But as you see, when it comes to people like Elon Musk and Tesla, like, oh well, what is it, fucking Tesla's DEI score fucking went like out the fucking roof. They literally are the leading fucking electric vehicle fucking company in the world, but they're not doing enough for the environment because they're not fucking regulating people's speech on social media. Like
Right.
it's it's complete fucking asinine, just control mechanisms that the fucking machine has created in order to, again, make examples of fucking people and to basically just, flex their might over the people.
Yeah, and people tend to forget that not only are these fucking lizards just citizens like you, but you fucking pay them. They work for you, man. Everything that they do comes out of your pocket. You know what I mean? They create absolutely nothing, right? And one of my favorite, I don't know if you've seen the clip I have on my Insta right now. Pretty good, an interview with Bill Gates, right? Asked something about this kind of shit, basically about hypocrisy with the environment. The top 2% has a larger carbon footprint than the bottom 40%. How do you explain that, bud? And he says, well, I spend millions of dollars a year investing in sustainable jet fuel. What the fuck? What are you even talking about, dude? You know what I
Right.
mean? What's
It's
sustainable
just
jet fuel?
right. It's just fucking that's two buzzwords put together, and one of them's a positive for the environment, and one of them's a negative for the environment. So technically, they counteract each other. I'm
Right.
I'm carbon neutral now.
Right.
That really is the type of logic that they use, though. I mean, it's complete. It's literally words, but if you actually put them into context, they don't actually mean anything.
Yeah. When you break it down to base intellect, the shit they're saying is completely asinine. Like John Kerry sitting in front of Congress and they're, ask him about, again, jets, and you're flying across the world on a regular basis, yada, yada. It's like, well, I gotta like fly on jets to like talk about the environment, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What the fuck, dude?
Right. Yep.
Al Gore, the father of this whole thing, you realize one of his houses, it takes a year to heat it, and its pool is enough to heat an entire neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like just madness.
Yep. So it's all a grift, man. And obviously, there's going to be some sort of changes within our climate that are going to take place over, time. That's literally what the Earth does. That's what it's always done, But to try and convince yourself that if we give these fucking wealthy elite people that have gotten by basically off of I guess making money off of scaring people and mongering fear amongst people, if we give them all of our money, that we're going to be able to stop that from happening. That's complete fucking ridiculousness. Yeah, that's quite literally the definition of a grift.
Yeah, this planet's been here for billions of years, and it's seen much worse than anything we could possibly fucking toss at it. Meteors, you know what I mean? Mass extinctions, fucking molten lava, earthquakes. I mean, on and on and on. Plate tectonic shifts. It's just fucking retarded. And it started off in the 70s with we were gonna have another ice ages, and then the 80s, acid rain's gonna kill all the crops. The 90s, the ozone layers, and then it went to fucking global warming in the early 2000s, and now they just changed it to climate change so they can point at any atmospheric anomaly and say, see.
Yep. Yeah. That's the plan.
Right. It's worked out
Shit.
pretty well for some of them. Like I said, Al Gore, just one of his houses, dude, could fit your house in the pool. You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah, fucking playing on people's emotions. That's where the big money's at. It's basically like selling fucking heroin to drug addicts, except they're not actually addicted. They're actually fucking productive people. So they got more money to fucking spend on you.
We need to step up our big worm game and fucking don't be playing with my emotions.
Right. Fucking give me that money. I'm gonna plant some motherfucking trees for your ass, all right?
Right. Yeah, and then, that's
plant some
another
motherfucking
thing.
trees with your name on it.
Yeah, and that's another thing with trees. You've been told enough trees could help, heal the environment. It produces oxygen, takes in the carbon. But now you have them saying, no, we need to cut all the trees down and put them in underground caverns to seal in the carbon. What the fuck, dude? These people are insane, man.
Yep. Fucking they worship at the fucking altar of science, yet they that's like I say, like the joke I like to make, that's how you know fucking science is the new religion, because the fact that most of the people that claim to believe in it don't follow it, and at the same time, the people that claim to believe in it don't understand a fucking thing about it.
Right.
Yep. That's
Yep. Hardcore Christians that never read past fucking the Ten Commandments.
right. That's there you go. That's all the signs of a new religion. Basically call it the woke fucking mind virus cult.
Yeah.
But yeah. But so we got some more news in the Donald Trump fucking 94 billion indictment saga going on. So he paid the $175 million fine in New York, which is of course lowered from what is it, 354 million they're trying to charge him.
No, 450 some million.
Oh,
457,
yeah.
I think. Yeah, just about a half billion.
Almost half a motherfucking billion. Yep. So he paid that. Of course, it's not the end of it. Definitely not the end of it. Letitia James is not gonna fucking let this rest. She's literally wants that man sold. She literally fucking campaigned on it. And so this is definitely not over. We also got two I guess kind of setback rulings, right? So the first one we got is in the classified documents dismissal case. All right. So the classified documents case. All right. So basically Donald Trump's lawyers basically put in a motion to dismiss based off of the Presidential Records Act, right? So Judge Eileen Cannon, who was actually appointed by Donald Trump. So again, that's kudos to her because she's actually doing her job and stuff. Basically, what this ruling is basically her saying that this does not apply. Let me actually say, I wrote it down. Right? She ruled it does not provide pretrial basis for dismissal. All right. So basically, it doesn't. It's not enough evidence to basically grant a summary judgment dismissal. I guess if you want to put it in a kind of Jack fucking in a New York fraud style thing. Right. So of course this isn't over. This is basically the case is going to get heard. Right. There's two sides obviously to this. Fucking Jack Smith, obviously he wants the ruling to basically kind of be pushed faster, so that way if she does rule that okay, well we're not able to do it with the Presidential Records Act, and we're able to go ahead and continue on and go on to trial, which she actually has already instructed both parties to go ahead and start instructing or giving instructions to juries. That basically he would be able to go ahead and appeal the decision before the 2024 election. Of course, they never actually say that they need it to be done before the 2024 election, but we all know that they need it to be done before the 2024 election, which is why Jack Smith wants to basically kind of expedite this ruling, so that way again he could keep the ball rolling, right? We also have another setback, which was Scott McAfee out of Georgia, basically denies the motion to dismiss the 2020 election interference case based on the First Amendment argument. Of course, we didn't really expect anything different. This is obviously the Georgia case. There's really clear partisan politics going on there. So not a big surprise there. But basically, the show goes on. To put it lightly, but ultimately some slight setbacks, but not the end of the world.
Yeah, and with the Georgia case, McAfee, while he's done some good things, he's also shit the bed a couple of times, and we know he has personal ties with old Fanny down there. He previously worked with her. His first job out of law school. That should be a conflict of interest. Regardless of fucking how anyone wants to put that guy should be recused from any case where she's involved personally. I mean, you can't say her office, obviously, because she has underlings, but anywhere that she's personally trying a case, he should be recused. I
Right.
give a fuck. You know what I mean? And down in Florida, Cannon there, again, she's done some good things, but at the same time, she just shit the bed right there. Judge's sole purpose is to interpret the law and determine whether that law was broke or not. You know what I mean? But they keep trying to leave it vague. well, I'm sure she doesn't want to appear to be playing any kind of favoritism game. One, supposed to be unbiased. Two, installed by Trump. So she's got that. If she went too far in his favor, of course she'd probably have fucking a string of Antifa outside of her goddamn house. Until DeSantis caught wind and sicked the dogs. But and then Letitia James, obviously, with the Trump, with the bond, he came out and was like, "How are you paying?" The cash, the thug life moment. But at the same
Yeah.
time, he actually did take a loan from somebody. Somebody posted the bond for him. I can't remember the guy's name, but a legitimate businessman that's been around for fucking years. And of course, now Letitia James and them are trying to investigate him. You know what I mean? Like, this is a complete intimidation fucking game where they're trying to distance Donald Trump from any kind of help, support, what have you. It's a fear tactic, especially going back to the grandma thing. It's if you support Trumpsicles, you're fucking treasonous, and we're gonna get you. You know what I mean? And that's what it boils down to. This is all fucking not only corrupt but complete political theater. And it's sad to me that us as a country, considering how we were founded, our accomplishments, through the last, 2.5 fucking centuries, and to now just bow down to these fucking people that are in your face corrupt. And the only people that support it are out and out, insane TDS sufferers and fucking grandmas that still rely on, Rachel Madcow for fucking news.
Right. Yeah. The legacy medias.
Yeah, the fucking
Yeah.
mollusk.
Right. So I mean, obviously the thing with the courts and shit like that, obviously with Eileen Cannon not wanting to appear partisan, anything like that, at this point it's really kind of winner take all. Like, shit, dude, what the fuck you waiting for, dude? Look at the other fucking judges in the other cases. They're clearly playing partisan politics, like
Yeah,
not even trying to hide it at all. Of course, it does also, I guess, go down the chain of command. I guess it depends. Who Eileen Cannon would eventually have to answer to. And of course that would most likely be the head of the Justice Department. But yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, ultimately, like I said, at this point, it seems like it's kind of an all or nothing game. But I do still think that there is something to be said about maintaining the your integrity. I guess at least maintaining the side of integrity, because that does ultimately it does take time. You do get your ass kicked along the way and stuff like that. But as we're seeing, I guess among the mass culture right now, it does have its effects over time. You do kind of get that martyrdom aspect to you, at
yeah,
least to your cause.
yeah. I mean, and we've seen, Trump's got that. I mean, his support has skyrocketed since, they started with the indictments. Every phase of this whole process, they just gain support. It's like every time they make a public thing, like, "Hey, we're going to do this now," or "We indicted him on this," he, bam, goes up in the polls. So they're
Yep.
they're fucking doing him favors. And as far as like winner take all, like, what the fuck you waiting for? Fuck it. I could see that. And if, as long as Trump got into office, she really wouldn't have to worry about the DOJ, because basically DeSantis has made no qualms about the fact that he's well aware that a sheriff can bitch smack a federal officer.
All
So
right.
I don't think he'd let her be taken or nothing. You know what I mean? He's like, you're not, I don't think he'd let her be prosecuted as far as that's concerned. I think he would at minimum stall it out. But if Trump loses, well, then you're fucking chopped meat, man. Because Garland's still going to be there. But that's the only
Right.
saving grace. Not like Trump's going to do it, but he's going to walk in and immediately get rid of fucking squabbling ass fucking Merrick Garland.
Yep. Yeah, and so like I say, it really is just a risk, I guess, that a lot of the establishment people, or I guess the people that want to be, I guess, on the side of good and truth and what America stands for, but are still ultimately lifelong establishment people and stuff like that. I guess a lot of people are still unsure as to whether or not Donald Trump's going to be able to pull it off. And of course, everybody's unsure. I'm still pretty damn sure that if he does even pull it off, they're going to fucking, they're going to JFK him. These people have a extreme fucking hate for Trump. This is, basically the death throes of the Western Empire, the Western fucking American Empire, basically going through its death rattle. They're focusing all of that on Trump. Trump's to blame for everything. Fucking none of the fucking movements, none like that. None of that shit before. None of the clear bullshit that we've pulled all around the world. None of that has had any of the type of effect that Donald Trump has had. And so basically they're putting everything that they can into, making sure that Donald Trump's destroyed. And obviously, they're not doing it, they're not able to. And it's really because of the support that Donald Trump has. It's because of the people like us, it's because of the people that, buy his hats. It's because of the people that support him. It's because of the people that have been, supporting him from day one. It's, basically it's the movement that Donald Trump has created is what's keeping Donald Trump, alive. And they're basically running out of ways to keep attacking him. And at the same time, like you mentioned, every time that they attack him with something new, his fucking polls go up and up and up. They're, like I said, they're making a martyr out of the man. Basically, that part's already done. Now it's one step left for them to really take. But of course, they're still going to take a lot more steps. They're going to fucking drop this on him and drop that on him, and we still got a good fucking what is it, like 200 some odd days until election season. So there's
211
still plenty
or
of
something
time.
Like
Yeah,
there's plenty of time for shenanigans. They're already writing the left, obviously, in Congress and shit is writing up bills, getting them ready to introduce to try to exclude Trump. They're drawing up bills and having them on the back burner ready in case these convictions are able to go through, where they're going to pass laws to say if you're charged with convicted of this or that, you can't hold fucking office. I mean, they're going to try every shenanigan they can. Of course, you've got the sackless fucking rhinos that are not only announcing they're retiring but leaving early and staying long enough to where their states can't have a quick fucking election to replace them, and basically handing power over to these lizards and Hakeem Jeffries and them, so they can start the impeachment proceedings or refuse to certify immediately. They've tried this kind of shit before with the trying to get the Congress to vote against certifying, which of course if you support Donald Trump and you do that, you need to go to prison for fucking decades. But they tried it previously, but no senators were willing to sign on. But I believe that at this point there's some senators that would be more than willing to sign on. So you can expect that, look for that, uh, and like you said, I think that even if he wins, he's going to have everything against him more so than the previous time.
Yep.
It's going to be rough going, man.
Shit, and then not to mention, dude, he's inheriting all of this bullshit.
Yeah.
He's inheriting the fucking the post Biden regime. He's basically inheriting post Bidenomics with fucking coupled with post Biden geopolitics.
Yeah, and even national politics. I mean, look, we were just talking about the other day. He's trying to jam through bills to prevent him from being able to fucking fire bureaucrats. They're just trying everything they can. I mean, after he left office, they passed a law where you got like Ben Shapiro and them saying the vice president does not have the power to fucking decertify, but he actually did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they passed a law right after Trump fucking left office to make sure that now the vice president can. So they just run with that. No, the vice president didn't have power. No, he actually did. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. I don't know. Then you still kind of wonder how much of that stuff is going to come back and bite them in the ass. So I mean, of course, they're going to try and contest this fucking election. As you said, it's. But you mean they're gonna try and get fake electors?
Right.
Right.
And again, in 2020, I've posted the video all over my social medias of the left literally making commercials to fucking put on MTV, trying to encourage people to, All we need is 5 electors to go against. You know what I mean? In other words, disregard your fucking state's constituents and just vote with us because Orange Man's is.
Right. Because Orange Hatler
Mm-hmm.
just saving democracy. 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 Yeah, these people are fucking insane. You could tell it's in the eyes, the fucking Rachel Madcow eyes when she starts getting really flustered, fucking blinks
Pencilneck
100 miles an
Schiff,
hour.
AOC, fucking
Right.
even Bernie, dude.
Yep. It's in the eyes, man.
It's in the billionaires.
Yeah, these people are fucking unhinged, deranged, even.
You can't do that no more. You can't. Remember, he's a millionaire now, so now it's only the billionaires.
Right. Yep. It's a whole new bracket. Inflation. Yep. But I want to talk about the Trump Bibles real quick. I mean, fucking my first comment on it is it's really funny to see all of the fucking lefties on Twitter suddenly, oh, that's blasphemy. They're just instantly like, oh, all of a sudden you guys are all fucking churchgoers and you guys are all fucking about Jesus and fucking anti-blasphemy and all this and that shit. Like, all of a sudden, right? Fucking, oh, God's gonna turn his wrath on Donald Trump. And it's funny, there's a lot of fucking lefties on Twitter right now, even trying to say that that's what the earthquake on the East Coast was about, because of course, the epicenter being right there at the Donald Trump's golf resort. They're trying to see God's showing his wrath to Donald Trump. It's like, dude, when the fuck did you guys start believing in God?
Yeah, MTG says that's proof New York needs to repent. But yeah, I mean, these people are agnostic at best, and most of them claim to be atheists. We know that their current religion is the fucking state, and the Chinese flag is their religious symbol. But yeah, funny to see him melt down, and I believe that's the reason he did it. I don't think Trump's fucking religious, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if he is, it's like an end of life religious. You know how you see, people as they get old start approaching death, and now all of a sudden they want to talk to God all the time and shit.
Yep. Yeah, they have their divine moments and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had an epiphany, and now I believe in Jeebus. Like, that's just because you're about to die and you're scared you were wrong your whole life.
Right. But then again, of course, there's the other, perspective of basically, so there's, a lot of people on the right that, are saying that, oh, this is blasphemous, like fucking, he's basically trying to say that he's reinterpreted the Bible, what have you, or whatever. And then, of course, there's a lot of people on the right that are basically like, it's a symbolic gesture, basically trying to show a revitalization of basically what this country was founded on, which is Christianity, and so I mean, really, like I said, it could go either way. One thing that it definitely was good publicity for Donald J. Trump. I guarantee you, a lot of those fucking Bibles are going to end up in a whole lot of fucking Bible Belt fucking houses and shit right there, right up on the mantle, right next to the Trump shrine, like, so. Either way, it is what it is, fucking, yeah, definitely some, the dude is the master of PR, like, it doesn't matter any time that he does anything, it's fucking all anybody can talk about,
Yeah, he's a comedian and a master troll, and I believe, like you said, they'll end up in those Bible Belt houses, the fucking Q weirdos and all that jazz. But I think they'll also end up on eBay for bloated prices like the shoes. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah,
the dude just screams
yeah.
money. I guess current raising money is even beat Biden's record from his Lizzo event. You know what I mean? So. The dude's just killing it, man.
Yep. Like, and we actually know the real reason why the earthquake actually took place today. We'll be sharing that with you right now. Oh, fucking Lizzo. Right. But yeah, anyway, fucking yeah. So ready to go on to the next one. The old illegals voting in 2024.
Sure.
All right. So 2024 election. It's going to be decided by illegals. It's basically they're moving all of these illegals, as you know, into the United States. We already know that the goal behind it is basically to either get more congressional seats in a lot of these Democrat states, and it's as we see right now, to basically make sure that Donald Trump doesn't fucking win the 2024 election. Basically, in a lot of these swing states, there's what's called federal only ballots, right? And it's basically you could go ahead and register to vote if you're a first time voter. You don't need an ID right away. We'll just try and match up your last 4 digits of your social security number. So an interesting thing about these social security numbers is, well, when you come here on a work visa, they give you a social security number. So that way you could basically, pay fucking taxes and all that shit, of course, so illegal immigrants that are basically just here, fucking on some sort of, you're free to work shit like that. They're able to just put in, 4 fucking numbers and there you go. You're able to fucking vote. A lot of the, like I said, the, like particularly here in Arizona, what they do if they're not able to match up your name and address to a motor vehicle record or a DMV record, then basically is what you're going to get issued is a federal only ballot. All right. So what comes on a federal only ballot is basically anything that's not pertaining to, the local state or like state electors, stuff like that. Let me pull it up. Actually,
So the elections in your neighborhood, fucking municipality, and your state elections for reps and whatnot, those are too important to corrupt with fucking the votes of illegals. But they'll definitely hand them a fucking federal ballot to let them impact who controls the economic fucking policy of the country. That's
all right.
A1.
All right. So I asked Chat GPT after uploading a picture that it's on my X account, but it's basically of a small little sample section because they sent me in the mail a voter registration form for whatever reason. I don't know why. All the people that live in my household that are of voting age are registered to vote already. So of course there's no reason for them to be sending me extra voter registration forms. But either way, there's a piece in there that basically shows about non-citizen voters, and basically that's where it says that non-citizen voters basically are going to get handed a federal only ballot. So I put it into Chat GPT and they said that, basically it looks like a sample ballot. And then I asked, what does a federal only ballot mean? And it says a federal only ballot typically refers to a ballot that only includes races for federal offices and does not include state, county, or local races and issues. This type of ballot often provided to voters who have not met certain state or local voting requirements, but are still eligible to participate in federal elections. In the context of the document you've shared, the state of Arizona appears to have a provision where an individual who does not provide proof of citizenship that complies with state requirements, they are not eligible to vote in state or local elections. However, they can still receive a federal only ballot because federal law does not require proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections, such as for president, vice president, senator, or representatives in Congress. Right. So the senator and representatives in Congress, that was the one I wasn't sure about. I was pretty sure that it, applied to a president and stuff like that. I just wasn't sure if it actually applied to our representatives in the federal government. It turns out it does. So that's probably got a bit to do with why we're shifting so far blue. But let's see, the bifurcation ensures that the state's additional voter eligibility requirements do not infringe upon the individual's rights to vote in federal elections as established by federal law. So while the voter may be limited from participating in certain state or local decisions, they can still vote on matters at the national level. Again, it doesn't make any fucking sense, but so I've asked what federal law allows those who cannot provide proof of citizenship the right to vote. And it says the federal law that outlines the general requirements for voter registration for federal elections is the National Voter Rights Act of 1993, or the NVRA, also known as the Motor Voter Act. The NVRA requires states to offer voter registration opportunities at various state offices, including motor vehicle offices, and imposes certain requirements on states to enable voter registration for federal elections. Moreover, the Help America Vote Act, or the HAVA of 2002, established further federal standards for voting systems and voter identification requirements for federal elections. HAVA mandates that states require individuals to provide some form of identification when registering to vote, but the specifics can vary by state. While these federal laws set the baseline, they do not specifically address the proof of citizenship issue. Instead, the question of whether a proof of citizenship can be required for federal elections has been the subject of legal challenges. For example, in the case of Arizona versus Intertribal Council of Arizona, Inc., the U.S. Supreme Court struck down Arizona's law requiring proof of citizenship for federal elections, ruling that it was preempted by the NVRA, thus requiring documentary proof of citizenship as a condition for voting in federal elections is not allowed under federal law consistent with this ruling. So while federal laws like NVRA and HAVA standardize certain aspects of the voter registration process, the specific allowances for voters without proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections is not directly provided by these laws, but rather is a consequence of their implementation and interpretation through the courts. So that's
So when they
basically
tell you that illegals aren't voting, or the immigrants aren't voting, they've been voting for fucking decades.
right. Yeah.
That's why the push to increase, the push real quick to give them fucking, temporary fucking work permits. I mean, so on and so forth. And then, I've covered, on my channel, I did a whole episode about it, about how they were literally came up with an ID that they're handing out at the border for these people, holographic IDs, to get to the states where they're going. And then the vast majority of these so-called sanctuary cities or states are giving out driver's license, letting them go to school where they're getting school IDs, just so on, so on, so on.
Right. Yep. So there you guys go, man. The fix is in. So we did see again, I don't have the numbers pulled up right in front of me right now, but about 2 million in Texas that this year, just within this last month or so, went ahead and filed to vote and did not have a proof of ID. Right? We saw I forget the other state, but I know one of them was Arizona. Was the other one Nevada? I can't remember.
It was either that or New Mexico, one of the two.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember where it was, but there was one more state. But so yeah, basically about 3 million people have registered to vote within this election without providing any proof of citizenship or identification of any sort. All right, and those people are going to get what is called a federal only bill. So yes, those people, and we have no idea who they are, where they come from, what they're doing here, what they want, with what their goal is with coming to America. Those people are going to be deciding who gets to be the next president of the United States.
And you got to understand that Trump, only certain states that he supposedly lost, he only lost by 10, 11,000 votes. I mean, we're talking a small margin.
Yep. Yeah, so like I said, when it comes down to all of this stuff, like we said, when it comes down to the 2024 election, it's shit anybody's game, because really nobody's going to accept the results anyway. Either way, whether Donald Trump wins, if Donald Trump wins, Antifa is going to fucking go ape shit, and they're going to fucking start burning down your cities, and everything's going to be the summer of love all over again. If Biden wins, obviously it's because fucking he brought in fucking millions and millions of new voters, right? So there's actually the black community is in Chicago and stuff like that is getting really pissed off, and they're starting to call it the replacement theory. The fucking Democrats are basically replacing the voting base of the black community. As we know, fucking LBJ said, I'll have them voting for a Democrat for the next 100 years. Well, came up just a little bit shy, buddy.
Yeah, and of course, we've mentioned a lot of times, showed the clip, the article, New York Times, 2018, we can replace them. And it goes into detail, and of course, the shadow campaign in Time Magazine for 2020. Read all that shit for yourself, and then the UN Charter, of course, man.
Yeah, but shit, freaking. So speaking of the immigrants fucking coming here and basically replacing the black voting base. They're also, spreading diseases amongst the blacks community. Right? That's not to be xenophobic, nothing like that. I mean, in a literal sense, diseases such as tuberculosis and measles have been breaking out all over Chicago, right?
It's a
And
bloodbath.
yeah, Biden's border bloodbath. Yeah. Oh, real quick before we get into this, you want to talk real quick about Nebraska and their the stuff going on with their electoral system that they're trying to I guess get taken care of before this election.
Yeah, it's obviously, Omaha is referred to as Obamaha, right? That's basically they one of two states that don't give a winner take all as far as electoral college votes. So they've basically been awarding the Democrats a free fucking electoral college vote for years. And then they just gained a Republican supermajority there in the state legislature. They introduced a bill to, take up the winner take all platform. And of course, the left melts down. This is a threat to democracy. But like Republicans do, they find a way to cut their own shit. The bill failed initially because they're in the state. You're not allowed to tie bills to other bills that have nothing to do with the topic at hand. So they voted it down. The Republicans themselves, and
Right.
but supposedly they're going to bring it up as a standalone bill and try to get this done quickly again before the election. And the left is just absolutely going ape shit over it. You can't change the rules of elections 200 days beforehand, but 2020 was, a complete string of
That's
changing the rules.
different.
right, because COVID,
Right.
and went against their own state constitutions, and even Republicans were guilty of it themselves, as usual, shooting themselves in the fucking foot like the spineless fucking weaklings they are. But if they can get this passed, obviously it's a pretty clear march to a win, just like it would be for Biden if he won, the majority of the bluer swing states and gets that one electoral vote. Like it's a wrap. That's 270.
All right. And again, they're one of two states within, the United States that actually does this. All the other states, basically, whoever wins the most counties or whoever wins the most districts in that state, that's the one who takes the state. That's the one who gets basically the whole enchilada. That's who gets all the electoral votes from that state. So I mean, really, it's just kind of get with the program. But obviously, as we see, it's Republicans doing the same thing that they always like to do. Basically, like, I got an idea, and shoot themselves in the foot. Yeah.
Right. They're like, I got an idea. Their constituents are like, fuck yeah. And then they're like, sorry, can't do it.
Right.
You fucking weak bitches, man.
Right. Yeah. That really is the problem with Republicans. Like I said, I had an idea for a second about a fucking a way that we could get this all taken care of, right? And basically, we're gonna fucking make a bill. And it's gonna be called the migrant workers, the non-citizen workers amnesty bill, right? They call it the non-citizen workers amnesty bill, right? And we're gonna fucking put it out 10 minutes before you're allowed to vote on it. You're not going to be able to read it. You could read it after. You got to vote on it before you could read it, and then it's just going to be filled with ways that we could fucking ship all these motherfuckers back, and we could keep the ones that are able to pass a fucking civics test or ones that are actually able to, complete a fucking brain drain with, anybody that's actually worth something, we'll be able to keep those fucking people as non-citizen workers. And we're going to grant them amnesty as long as they're fucking not, criminals and they're able to fucking actually produce, but like I said, obviously it's a kind of joke, but still, fucking that's literally what Democrats do. That's quite literally what fucking Democrats do all the goddamn time. Like that's one of their fucking bags of trick tactics and shit. Like fucking do the same damn thing to them, and then at the same time, obviously they're gonna fucking vote no on it. they're gonna fucking vote it down. They don't give a shit what's on the bill. They don't even need to read it, just because the fact that it's coming from a Republican, preferably a MAGA Republican, they're not even gonna fucking read it. And then we get to turn around and say they don't actually want amnesty. They don't want anything like that. Fucking I don't know what the fuck they want. They fucking just want to keep these people locked up in cages and fucking keep them locked up in hotels. Like, I don't know what's wrong with them. Like, we tried granting amnesty for all the non-citizen workers here in America, and they wouldn't take it. I don't know. It's the same thing that they tried to do with the fucking border bill. It was basically a border bill that would have not only fucking not secured the border, it would have basically granted blanket amnesty to fucking all these illegal immigrants. And like I say, just use their own tactics on them. But of course, Republicans, they don't do that type of stuff. And at the same time, the Republican voters, the people like, us here, we tend to have a habit of basically saying exactly what we're doing as we're doing it. Our party has no fucking secrecy at all. Like, we basically all right, we strategize in the open. Like, we strategize on fucking YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and fucking Twitter and all that shit. The Democrats, fucking their voters, they don't even know how to fucking play chess, let alone strategize. So they're just fucking on the internet all day, just reading out. Meanwhile, the fucking Democrat Party behind the scenes with fucking wealthy donors and all these fucking establishment elitists, they're fucking doing all this rules for radicals type shit.
Projection, dude, for sure. It's fucking Saul Alinsky 101, man.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. So you want to talk about the fucking tuberculosis and fucking measles outbreak, man?
Yeah, because immigrants don't bring fucking diseases. They're fucking racism. Right.
They definitely don't bring crime or drugs or anything like that. If you think that, you're a racist.
Yeah, and I how you're saying, like, introduce a bill. I mean, we could run with that. I would even be down to be like, okay, we can, give some type of amnesty to these people if they're going to produce yada yada. But of course, it would be seen as fascisms. And but at this point, the with the health of the economy and whatnot, the debt taken into factor, and of course the environments is you got to put restrictions, man. You know what I mean? Basically, you're a second tier citizen for an extended period. You could put a cap on it, a decade, whatever. You're going to pay more in taxes, dude. You're going to be requisite fucking civics classes. Fucking, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could just keep going. You got to stay employed. If you commit a crime, there is no court. There's no nothing. It's an immediate fucking expulsion. If you come back into the country and prison for 20 years, fucking, I mean, you could get down and reap the benefits. You'd basically have a fucking slave class that is above board. They're being paid enough to fucking be able to live, but at the same time, they're paying down the debt and funding Social Security.
All right. What if you were fucking basically to pull like something like, well, we're gonna grant you amnesty. We're glad that you're here now that you're here, and we know who you are, and we're able to see eye to eye on some stuff, right? But you did come here illegally. You did break the law. You did commit a felony. So you're not going to do any time, anything like that. You're not going to have to go on probation, nothing like that. But you are going to be a felon. Right? You're not going to be able to buy guns. You're not going to be able to fucking vote, any of that, unless you go through a court fucking process, and then a judge can grant you those rights. But essentially, from the get-go, you're going to start from square -1.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, dude, you come here, I don't care if it's legal, like, unless you have true, like, citizenship, you've been naturalized, what have you, the Constitution doesn't apply to you. And I know, the libertarians will love to freak out and fucking, don't you believe in freedoms is? Yeah, sure do, for fucking my people, like the country that those papers were written for, that, the concept was put into practice. You know what I mean? Right. And you see, as that's all diluted and changed, all that stuff's been retracted, destroyed, and fucking, dismantled around you.
My forefathers planted these trees here so that their children may one day sit beneath the shade. I don't know who the fuck you are, though. You're definitely not one of my fucking kids. I know that for sure.
Right.
Right.
And you break everything down to the micro scale, dude, and people love to fucking, that's not the same, but it is. I say it all the
Right.
time, dude. If people down the road you don't know are fucking hungry and so are your kids, who the fuck are you gonna feed? The walls don't
Right.
work. Why the fuck do you live in them? Fucking, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, yeah, you can just keep going. Why do you lock your door? You could say I live in walls, okay? It's human nature to want to domicile and fucking cover, but why do you lock the door? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Walls don't work.
Right.
Not when there's windows. I don't know. Metaphors. Oh man, if I could,
Yeah, but
yeah,
like we were saying though, that it's not just the economic aspect, it's not even the crime aspect. They're bringing tuberculosis, bro.
right,
You know what I mean? You're Doc Holliday out here now, dude. Fuck.
right, yeah. Like I did read down a little bit farther in that article that toward the end of the article, they did say that basically tuberculosis isn't what it used to be anymore. Now it's basically handled with treatments and generally going to be all right.
Right. I mean, I'm sure
But
if you've been inoculated, I mean, can you really just say like this person's sick as fuck with TB, but it's gonna
right,
be okay. We're gonna give them some Cillins.
oh yeah. Yeah, and then looking at the same time, it's not just stuff like tuberculosis. We not trying to fucking vaccines now, but a lot of the vaccines that we do have, here, like fucking Hep B, measles
The ones
vaccines,
from 50 years ago that
right,
everyone's inoculated with. Yeah.
right, those ones, those are kind of necessary. These people don't got them. These motherfuckers coming over the border don't got those. Like, you could bet your bottom dollar that they ain't fucking seen no vaccines in their entire fucking life. Their fucking parents or grandparents, unless the Red Cross happened to drop in their fucking neighborhood one day, they ain't seen no fucking vaccines. So and they want to put these people in school with your kids right next to them. Fucking
That
shit. Matter
had
of
to
fact,
have fucking wear masks or be COVID shotted up or, you
right.
know,
And your kids aren't going to understand what's going on half the time because this classes now have to be in half English and half fucking whatever new language the majority of the people that just fucking moved into the neighborhood speak now. So that's that's the reality of a lot what's going on. And of course, a lot of people see that, that's really kind of something that's hard to miss. Like, I don't remember all those Africans fucking sitting on that corner fucking last year. Like, what the fuck? Like, where did all these people come from? That's kind of hard to miss. So,
yeah,
that's the
dude,
one thing that's really kind of weighing heavy on this election right now.
I wanna touch on that, how you said classrooms where they speak half, whatever the fuck. Just to touch on that, right? You got Newsom, who's destroyed California, right? Went from a surplus to fucking red debt, every year. But just that state alone spends over $100 million just for educating non-English speaking
Yeah.
children. Over 100 million. The state's in the red, mind you, right?
Oh yeah.
If it was still fucking the land of rape and honey, and you could just throw that away, but they're running $1 billion deficits.
Yeah. Shit, I remember back when I was in fucking elementary school and middle school, they had all the ESL classrooms. There's like at least like 2 fucking ESL classrooms. That's English as a second language. And that's basically for all the immigrants. Of course, I do live in Arizona where we have a fuck ton of goddamn immigrants. We always fucking have, so yeah, fucking that's something that's been out here. And again, it's just something that's your tax dollars, taking out of the property taxes out here is what basically funds the schooling system in Arizona. But whatever, taking tax dollars funds the schooling system in your area, that's where it's going to, that's what it's being spent on. And meanwhile, all this is going on. Fucking, well, don't worry, you guys are safe because we're locking up fucking grandmas that go pray at the fucking Capitol. Don't worry, you guys. We're safe. We're saving you from those crazy fucking scary Christian nationals. Making sure they don't go and fucking knock on your door, try to give you a pamphlet or something like that. That's where the real danger's at. Not in these fucking druggers and murderers and fucking human smugglers. That's not dangerous. You guys are fucking just being xenophobes and racists. What's actually
Or
dangerous is fucking Christians and nationalists.
right, or like Enrique Tarrio, the guy wasn't even there,
Right.
and he's in prison.
Yeah. Yep. Shit. Priorities.
Right.
Yeah. So fucking crazy ass shit, man. But yeah, fucking the Lord's is showing his wrath. Fucking earthquakes been devastating the world right now. Fucking Taiwan actually just had some major earthquakes, and earlier today, uh, basically New York and New Jersey got hit with some earthquakes. Right? Uh, you know, I'm not too sure how many people were hurt or passed away in Taiwan. I have been seeing quite a few videos of buildings toppled over. From what I gather, it was pretty bad one. And then in New York, there's pretty much just been kind of people's videos of like Ring cameras of their items in their house shaking and stuff like that. Yeah, like the epicenter is claimed to be fucking Donald Trump's resort. So a whole lot of conspiracy theories that could be going on there. Fucking, we got people trying to say that, oh, fucking, it's Donald Trump. He was trying to fucking dig a tunnel to fucking, I don't know. Yeah, a whole bunch of fucking conspiracy theories. It's China. It's China.
Yeah, Taiwan was China, and then right afterwards they were like, we could send like our warships over to like help you out.
Right. Don't worry, we'll send government aid, man.
Right. Fucking destroyers rolling in and shit.
Don't worry, we got your back. We may have had our differences in the past, but we've always kind of seen you as one of our own.
Yeah.
Fucking China.
Yeah. So the one that hit New York was they said it was a 4.2, I believe, right? Or was it a little more than that? I can't remember if it was 4.2 or 4.7. But that's pretty good size, for here, and not to mention like that side of the country, that's rare as fuck. You know what I mean? It's usually California and more the western states that feel aftershocks and rumbles and whatnot, and where your
4.8
fear is a right, and so that's pretty unexpected. And then what's the New Jersey? It was 2 point something, and
3.8.
Wild shit. 3.8. Those numbers change constantly, dude. Like I was seeing it early this morning. I haven't looked at them since I got off, since I was at work all day. But pretty crazy shit, man. Again, not often you hear about earthquakes in America. When you do, it's primarily old Cali, man, threatening to fall into the ocean.
Yep.
Fuck Arizona oceanfront property, man.
Right? Shit. Like, and I always thought that, but then now that I realize, like, fucking, nope, Arizona becoming prime real estate, it kind of sucks. Fuck, man, we got a whole bunch of fucking yuppies moving out here and shit.
Yeah. Dude, I remember, a while back, I first met you, and I was like, man, you lived here longer than me. What do you think about this change? And you were like, it's just like, it's what cities do. Like, you know what I mean? Now you see, bro, it's, it's absolutely going the wrong direction, man.
Right.
And I watched the same shit happen in my own city back home, in Detroit. And, the neighborhood I grew up in doesn't even exist anymore. It's totally fucking level.
Yeah. Yep. Shit. Living in the new world. Yeah, fucking some bullshit, man. Where my country gone? Where my country gone? So,
all the Richmond, north of Richmond, packing pockets, dude.
Right. Fucking damn stuff in their fucking wallets and their jacket pockets, all that shit, motherfuckers.
Laundering it through the war machine into fucking European countries, back into their own pockets.
Yep. Shit. Speaking of the war machine, man, it's about to get fucking back into full effect. Coming up here real soon as the United States and Israel brace for retaliation from Iran. Right. So you might be wondering, why Iran? What's going on with Iran? I don't know. I thought this was just fucking Israel and Hamas. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Last thing I remember was fucking January 7th or October 7th. Shit, what's going on here? Fucking well, as you guys are, I'm sure been, blasted with all over social media and everything. Israel's not really winning the PR battle. You know, they're obviously, you know, winning the physical conflict, but they're not necessarily winning the PR battle. And a lot of that has to do with the some of the places that they've been striking. Right. So I forgot to write down the fucking city in Syria that they struck, but basically they struck I guess an Iranian fucking consulate and basically killed a couple of Iranian generals. Of course, we already kind of saw this type of stuff fucking happening. You know, it's basically just, you know, waiting for some sort of thing to get us involved with Iran, because of course that's what our fucking military industrial complex has wanted for quite some time now. They want war with Iran. All right. So things are escalating very quickly as basically the Iran is basically promised to go ahead and retaliate, and basically they're saying that it's from what intelligence has gathered. Intelligence is saying that it's looking like it's going to be a drone strike or possibly some cruise missile strikes. Don't know where they're going to be originating from necessarily. It could be really kind of any one of the Middle Eastern countries, but that's basically what the word on the street is. And like I said, they're basically saying brace for impact, people. Again, I don't necessarily know, when America's going to get struck with some sort of terrorist act, but I do think that it's probably going to be within this year, right? It's definitely everything happens during election season, so we might have another October surprise fucking brewing up. But yeah, basically, the United States and Israel basically on high alert of retaliation from Iran right now. So things escalating pretty quickly over there, and not to mention the public sentiment of anger and stuff like that toward Israel right now due to the I can't remember the fucking name, but basically the world fucking food people basically trying to bring in supplies to Gaza. Basically, that got hit. A lot of different nations were had people within that convoy or whatever the fuck it was. I can't remember the goddamn name of it, but basically, they struck it supposedly thinking that it was of course the enemies, fucking Hamas, whoever the fuck they choose to be their enemies at the moment, but basically trying to say that they thought it was them. So they did their own internal investigation, and just one day later came back with the I think it was one day later, pretty sure it was, maybe a couple of days later, but basically very, very quickly came back with the ruling that it was a bad call within the ranks. We took care of the people. They're no longer basically within the military anymore, right? The people that made the bad call. And of course now the international community is basically saying that they would like to investigate themselves, because normally it's not exactly the best look when you investigate yourself for possible war crimes and stuff like that. So a whole lot going on in the Middle East. Thanks, old Joe Biden.
With the fucking Israel shit, that's a page right out of a fucking America's book, man. You had fucking, Bush, June bug, and Obama, hitting lots of accidental targets, right? Accidental fucking hospitals, weddings, American citizens.
Collateral.
You had all that going on. So, America shouldn't be pointing the fucking finger. Apparently, Joe Biden was saying like, it's unfathomable fucking to goddamn compare, the acts of America to what Israel's doing. Okay. And regardless if you back Israel or not, like me, I've stated it many times on here. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't give two shits about fucking, Israel or fucking Palestine. Okay. But that's supposed to be an ally while we're sending hundreds of billions to, some shithole laundromat that is not an actual ally. All right, we'll start backing up and pointing the finger, fading into the bushes as these guys commit acts of war, this is what this is. And I know war sucks. That's not what you want. I'm anti-war myself, but it's a necessary evil. And when it comes down to it, like enemy fucking combatants attacking your people in broad daylight, yada yada, you fucking get the job done. And that's something that America has lost. We fucking lose every conflict basically because we go in there to we do a little bomb dropping, a little bit of drone flying, and then we hang around and try to give them shit, teach them things, and build fucking structures and infrastructure, and on and on. And then we're like, well, you're turning on us. What's the problem? Like, dude, these people don't like you. You know what I'm saying? They're not buds. They don't want democracy, right?
Right.
And that's something that we've lost touch on. And so while war is ugly, you don't want it to happen. At this point, it doesn't actually involve us, and they're just getting the job done. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're gonna go into fucking, hey, we're sick of these people attacking us, we're fucking murdering them out. I mean, I guess murder them out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what the fuck do you do, right? But as far as Iran's concerned, like, dude, I know that you hear some, different opinions floating around about, no, it's a big country, it's like 8 million people. I mean, ultimately, again, if you wanted to get the job done, and I'm not even doing the Israel like let's genocide them. I mean, you could just take out major infrastructure, strategic fucking hits, bam, bam, bam. It's going to suck for the civilians. War does, but I
Yeah.
mean, are you just going to let people continue to attack you? And they're passive. I mean, I guess you could call it passive aggressive because they plan attacks out of exterior countries and then go, "What? It wasn't us." You know
Right.
what I mean? It's again, either fucking get out of there completely or get the job done.
Right. That's not going to happen, though. There's no
Hmm,
money in getting the job done.
you're right.
Yeah. Why would we ever do that? Yeah, but that's basically, I guess the kind of excuse that America uses is basically, nation building. We're fucking bringing democracy to the Middle East and all this and that type of shit, And it really is, like you're saying, basically we can't fathom the idea that anybody would like to live any other way than in fucking some semblance of democracy. Like, I can't imagine that people would like to live fucking under a theocratic fucking dictatorship. Like, some people do. Some people do, fucking, especially those types of fucking nations and shit like that. So basically, the whole Middle East thing, it's really a cash fucking cow. It's really just the military industrial complex. Like I said, I don't have a fucking dog in the fight either. The only thing that I fucking want is us to stop sending our fucking money over there.
Yep. Yeah, and to realize that these people have been at war with each other for fucking thousands of years, and there's not a goddamn thing we're going to do as far as that's concerned to change that. And it's either you stand by the original concept, which is, no political entanglements, fucking free trade with all, fuck, trade oil, whatever the case, but don't get involved in fucking conflicts. Even as far as trade, like you want to buy weapons, fuck, send over some cash. We'll send you some cases, man. You know
Right.
what I mean? No, like we're doing right now with Ukraine. Like we're gonna send them 60 more billion, but this time it's gonna be a loanses. Hey, no, it's
Right.
not. It's never gonna be paid back. The only thing that's gonna be paid back is what's going in those fucking politicians' pockets. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's flat out fucking trade, and that's it, man. That's how you run it. And
Yeah.
it saved the country trillions and lots of lives.
Yep. It seems to be like the way that we kind of do it is like in basically we arm these other fucking nations and stuff like that. We basically get them to fight wars that we want fought, but we don't want to go fight ourselves. Basically, we get them to go fucking fight these other nations and stuff like that, and then basically we send them our old equipment. We fucking basically bill Congress for billions of dollars, and then we basically replenish our own equipment with newer equipment. Basically, that's just kind of what we do. Basically, we just stockpile ourselves, and then we just fucking send other nations out to go fucking be all they could be with all of our fucking weapons and ammunition and stuff like that. And yeah,
But
and
see
then
again, then we've crippled ourselves even that way to the point like with manufacturing that
yeah,
like our Patriot missiles are on back order, like they're months behind. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like we depleted our fucking munitions, sending this shit to all these different countries. Meanwhile, we're like, fuck, we got nothing. We don't even have the manufacturing capability to step it up, like, to World War II standards where you can bang shit out. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Again, you're going to have to cut a deal with Mexico to use Ford plants.
right. Fucking Yeah. Welcome to World War III, man. So yeah, crazy shit.
Yep, you should go into the fuel because that goes right with it.
All right, let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah. So speaking of fucking crippling us, man, fucking good old Joe Biden's, right? So you guys remember, of course, right after he became president and stuff like that, he fucking shut down all of the fucking oil drilling and stuff. He basically stopped the whole drill baby drill, and he basically gas prices, as would be predictable, went up. Right. So, of course, when people started seeing the gas prices were going up at a very rapid rate, as soon as Joe Biden took office, he basically decided to sell off our strategic reserves and, basically in order to lower gas prices. Right. Of course, this was with when things were going off with Russia and Ukraine and stuff like that. So that was another a kicker in the rise of gas prices. And so basically he is trying to say that it's wartime. We're at war right now. We need these reserves. Like, we're not, obviously, we're not at war. Ukraine is at war. We're just completely funding it because, again, they're proxies. And basically he drained our strategic oil reserves with the promise that he would replenish them. Right. When that he would replenish them when things settled down and the price of oil went down. So the price of oil went down slightly. Pretty much kind of stagnated through his entire presidency. It hasn't really gone up or down since the initial rise and kind of a slight dip. And basically now, instead of replenishing the oil as he said he would, and as would be smart, seeing as we are on the brink of World War III right now, it's election season. He needs to get reelected, so he's not going to replenish the oil reserves because, of course, that would require the United States taking federal funds and purchasing oil to basically replenish the reserves. Of course, that's going to have a major. That's going to have an effect on the market. It's going to raise the price of barrels of oil, and effectively raise the price of gas. Biden can't have that during election season because, as well as immigration, gas prices and the cost of living and everything is another major factor in is another major point of disapproval with the Biden administration. So yeah. So there's another fucking silver lining right there, I guess.
Yeah, and I gotta say though, this is where I gotta do the d bag thing. Like, actually, fucking, Biden has actually pumped more oil than Trump did, right? But it's a trajectory. I mean, it's usage, yada yada, right? But it's what he's done with it, right? It's sending it to other places, fucking China, fucking Ukraine. You know what I mean? Shit like that. And you got to think that it would be more fruitful, especially for the no political entanglement situation I was speaking on, to be friends with as far as trade's concerned with other world powers, right? The top world powers, man. And we try to do so with most of Europe, but like Russia is just like the 1984, like we're always at war with Eurasians. When in reality, it would be a lot more fruitful for the United States to do trade with them than it is goddamn Ukraine. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like Ukraine is this little shit spot. Russia's fucking massive and has plenty of resources, right? But you know, like you don't even know what to make with shit at this point, man. I mean, this guy's just a blatant fucking goof, complete failure. Drained, like you said, millions and millions of fucking barrels of reserves down to a low. I think we have like something like 300 some million barrels on hand, which will fuel the United States itself for like a day and a half or some stupid shit, right? But of course, now he can't replace that oil, all those reserves that Trump purchased because he got them at a discounted rate. When you had the Saudis trying to undercut us, Trump just come in and snatched up their shit. And so, he can't replace it at that price. No matter what, it's going to be a loss. I'm sure someone in that retarded regime knew that this is going to be a loss across the board. But basically, just depleting power of America purposely. It's pretty obvious at this point. And all you really got to do is step up in other aspects to offset, especially with the natural gas shit. The dude just put a cap on natural gas, and we could be selling all that shit to Europe as well to take up where Russia's been sanctioned. that would make America billions of dollars. But of course, that's not what Bidens wants. They wants more debt.
All right. Yeah, basically the way that you could break it down is what's more, I guess, important to the Biden regime, to have trade partners or to have enemies. Well, generally, if you're a fucking authoritarian power that's trying to keep your fucking people under the boot of your authority and keep them without question loyal to your regime, you need enemies. That's really important. So I think that's the way that the Biden, basically the entire fucking NATO system has always kind of looked at Russia, is basically they need that boogeyman. So again, like you said, the more the obviously more fucking profitable, the more beneficial for all societies would be, to have better trade partners amongst nations and stuff like that. But like you said, that's not the world that our leaders are looking for. That's not the world that the world leaders are looking for, as we see basically every fucking year at Davos. That's not the type of world that they want to live in. They want to live in the 1984 fucking dystopian, always been at war with fucking Eurasia type stuff. But in reality, of course, amongst trade partners, conflicts will always arise. With tariffs and stuff like that. Of course, what have you, undercutting different nations and same products, stuff like that. There's always going to be issues that arise, and basically that's where that's where basically the nation comes together as necessary. But ultimately, I think what's better for all humanity is basically that we basically grow better trade partners rather than more foreign enemies, in order to basically keep us to keep America great, or basically make America great again, or something.
Yeah.
And I think basically that having more trade, making better trade partners with other nations is basically the Donald Trump approach to it. Basically he wants to try and fucking put things in the past with some of our previous foreign adversaries, and basically he wants to move forward in a new direction, and something that's more profitable for all nations. So I think that's the problem, is basically we got two fucking opposing visions when it comes to the upper echelons of power. At least it would seem.
Yeah, for sure, man. And you've been hearing for years, especially people libertarian or on the right, that America is a corporation, right? Well, then let's run this motherfucker like a corporation. And do you
Yep.
want a CEO that has a proven track record of making billions of dollars? And I love how people will go, well, what about Trump's stakes? Well, what about, right? The dude fucking tried, 30 different endeavors, and 20 of them are still running, making the dude billions of dollars. Dude, he's a terrible businessman. You know what I'm saying? And fucking, do you want that? Do you want, a true business maker? Or do you want this fucking flop? In any type of business, this dude would have been fired already.
Right.
Obviously not qualified for the position, lied on his resume to get in, tried to fucking fake it till he make it, but he's not making it. You know what I mean? That dude can't make it to the shitter. So I mean, there's fucking problems, and you'd want this entire staff cut, right? If there's a board, we're it, and these people should be fucking fired.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. So that's really kind of what a new Donald Trump fucking presidency would mean for the country. Basically it'd be coming in basically right in the ship, I guess. Pointing us back in the direction that we're supposed to be going, instead of straight off of a goddamn cliff. Yeah, but
Yeah. And even the lowest denominators, people that have a hard time stringing together, full sentences, are noticing the fact that they were much better off under Trump's rules, man. And the people
Yep.
that tell you that that they weren't, or they're not, they're collecting fucking government shit, or they're one of the lizards that tend to make money off their fellow citizens' fucking misery.
Yep. So that's actually something that I predicted fucking, within last year and shit. Sometime last year, like toward the end of the year last year, was that basically in this election season, the normie voters, they're not gonna be, they don't actually look at the fucking, the policy. They don't actually look at, voting records and stuff like that the same way that we do. They look at basically, well, what was it like back then? The only thing that they're going to be able to actually remember is the last time I remember anything being good, and the last time I remember being able to afford to feed my family or myself even was back when Donald Trump was president. And basically on that fucking sentiment alone, like that's what's getting a lot of the mainstream public sentiment toward Donald Trump to shift back in the positive direction.
And hence the reason that the left just can't grasp that their argument of, yeah, but January 6th is not working out. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking to people that are struggling financially, credit card debt up billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, come on. They're
like,
not
what?
worried about fucking January 6th.
Right. Like, what? He threatened your guys' power, and he fucking made you guys scared, or not him. Like his followers threatened your power, and they made you scared, and you guys had to run away. Like, okay, I don't give a fuck. I'm about to go fucking chase your ass into a goddamn fucking bunker because of the fact that I can't afford to feed my goddamn family, and the entire fucking economy and the country's falling apart.
Yeah, and when they had to move Trump to the bunker, that's hilarious.
Right.
Trump, they had to hide in a bunker. You know what I'm saying? But they fucking, God forbid, fucking Nancy Pelosi had to be escorted out of the building. You know what I mean?
AOC fucking had to go hide in the fucking shitter. Where is
at a building that was on a totally different campus and shit, dude. You know what I mean? I was almost attacked and raped in a different building.
Meanwhile, nobody officially knows where fucking old Camel Toes was.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking.
Not officially, but privately, we know that she was at the DNC.
Yep.
Why?
She was at the building with the bomb. Why would she be there? Why wouldn't Secret Service sweep the area? They literally sat right next to it all day. Yeah. Like, nobody's buying that one either.
Right.
Ray
Epps left it there, man.
Right. He's backpack guy, man.
Gotta go into the Capitol.
Right. I orchestrated this just so you guys know.
Right.
I was just trying to show off. I didn't actually orchestrate it. I was just trying to show off to my friends. Like, what was it? Like his nephew or something like that?
Yeah, his nephew. He's like fucking, everybody exaggerates stories to their nephew, right? I definitely hit up my niece on a regular basis and exaggerate the fact that I set off the day that was worse than 9/11s.
Right. But at least, he was just communicating with, people like his nephew and stuff like that. It's not like he walked into the Capitol and, tried to have a communion with the Lord Jesus. That's real terrorism right there.
She was praying for Trump's.
Right. She was praying for insurrection. She knew what she was praying about. We know it too.
Overturning democracy.
Right. We know what 10 minutes was. Right.
8.
We know what you were doing for 10 minutes in there. Geo-tracking was able to fucking track your exact location. Geo-tracking it's not effective. You definitely cannot tell within decent enough radius, unless it's at the Capitol. Then we're able to tell. We have super good geo-tracking there. Yeah,
not mules.
All right. Yep. So fucking World War III looms over our shoulder, right? So we just talked about the Middle East. We just talked about the fact that Joe Biden is fucking over this country. He's basically drained our strategic oil reserves. He's basically fucking wrecked our economy. Really fucking he's turned our military into trannies. It's run by trannies at this point.
Don't forget the furries, dude.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, fucking trannies and furries, man. But so now we got Ukraine's and Russia, right? So that's been something that's been kind of looming over us the past couple of years, right? So Blinken this week, Anthony Blinken, the what is he, Secretary of State? I don't remember anymore. I don't remember these titles.
Yep, bumbling fucking fool.
Yeah. So he went ahead and declared that the Ukraine will join NATO, man. You just watch, it's gonna happen. We will have a soup kitchen in your fucking Senate chambers again. Dirty
And of
Mike and the
course,
boys.
that'll set off the ally fucking article, which, France and England, I believe, they already got fucking troops gearing up, ready to go to the Ukraines.
Right.
And this will be Joe Biden's fucking reasoning behind it. And of course, we know, it'll happen right before the election. So if he wins, they can conscript you immediately afterwards. So, yeah, I mean, because
I do believe Biden getting us with boots on the ground in a foreign war is on my bingo card for this year. So, yep, it's definitely looking more and more like it every day. Yeah, like you said, Trek, and this is if that occurs, basically, what Ukraine being administered into NATO would mean on the immediate front is basically World War III. Now, an instant fucking chain of events that would lead to basically the entire world being at war. Basically at that point they are part of the North Atlantic fucking alliance, which is basically the Western fucking world. Post World War II, they've basically created to stop the spread of fucking Soviet communism throughout the world. Obviously, the Soviet Union collapsed back in the 90s, and still now at this point, NATO has become basically the Western allied forces, the Western boot of the world, right? They basically become the unipolar world. And of course, things don't necessarily always work out too good that way. And so we're having a new poll basically coming in, and World War III is looming over our shoulders. All right. We all know what's happening. We all know this nation is in collapse. And it's really the failures of our government basically being exposed, to all the people. Basically our government is trying to save some sort of face. And so that's this is what a cornered animal does. And that's what we're seeing here in America. This really, it's like I said, it's fascinating, but we're actually living through history. And basically the people that are watching this show, the people that watch people like Tim Pool, the people that are watching, all the other commentators and podcasters and this and that out there that are in this sphere, you're aware of the fact that we're living through a major chain of events in human history, and we're actually sitting here documenting it with each other, and it's some crazy fucking shit. This is the first time in human history that discourse like this has been able to occur in the midst of these types of major world events. So I mean, this is really is kind of something to behold.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. And like you said, they're definitely pushing for the shit. Not only with the Russia Ukraine shit that, like you said, that's immediate like ally articles. So that's if you're attacking a NATO member, you're attacking America's. So that's like immediate shit on the ground. But then you also have the regime coming out and saying that our stance on Taiwan hasn't changed. We're not for an independent Taiwan. So they're just, the same way they kind of said, it's okay if Russia attacks Ukraine just a little bit. They're basically doing the same thing with China and Taiwan right now. And then you have the Israel-Iran situation. I mean, it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Joe Biden's on a roll, dude.
To put it lightly.
Yeah. And people are still out here running around on social media like, thanks, Mr. President. Like Joe Biden's the best. Like, dude, what the fuck are you guys on, man? Like, is it for follows and likes and shit, or are you that fucking retarded? You know what I mean? Like, how can you not see everything is a goddamn hot mess right now?
Yeah. Yep. It really is. The good fucking majority of the people are still completely oblivious.
Yeah, and they're already gearing up because the COVID shit's not scaring people no more. So now it's all about, could avian flu be like 100 times worse than COVID? You know what I mean? Like, fuck, right. Here we go.
Yep, get ready for lockdowns, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
And higher food prices for eggs and chicken because, of course, one of the largest chicken plants in Texas, avian flows.
Hell yeah. Good thing we're boycotting Tyson, yes. Fucking, yeah, it really is kind of funny to watch the, you know, I guess it's really not funny when you actually think about it, but to watch the complete lack of, awareness when it comes to a lot of the people on the left that are trying to be, political and fucking actually, have some sense of a ideological direction. You have them over here fucking talking about like, oh, apartheid, colonialism, fucking enchiladas and empanadas and stuff, and then on the other hand, like, we need to support Ukraine, yay American imperialism, woohoo! Like, it's completely fucking at odds with each other, fucking uh, ideologicalness, ideology. I don't know, but yeah, it's it does not compute, and so it's really, like I said, it's kind of sad. It's if you want to see what a fucking absolutely brainwashed fucking nut job looks like, just go on Twitter.
Yeah, or the TikToks, whatever, man.
Right.
Even Instagram. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't fucked with Threads. I assume it's the same thing. If you guys are scrolling Insta, man, you'll see little previews of Threads where they try to goad you into clicking on it to download to where if you get banned, which apparently it's pretty censorious, they'll ban your Instagram and Facebook too with it and shit and fucking that's a full on entrapment, and it's Mastodon on a larger scale basically. But I'm sure it's got to be a ghost town.
Right. Yeah. I mean, fucking, ain't nobody going on that shit. Even the people that fucking hate the fact that Elon Musk took over Twitter, like they're still all over that shit.
They're still on there crying.
Hey, you ain't going nowhere. Matter of fact, you ain't going nowhere. Give me that motherfucking money. I'm gonna need that motherfucking $12 right about now. Because your ass ain't going nowhere. Yep. And it really is, fucking, it's a lot of the ideological subversion, in full effect. And then, I think the whole fucking likes and fucking, social media type stuff really was kind of a, I guess really fucking during the start of the whole ideological subversion thing, it really couldn't have been too much of a foreseen circumstance, the likes and dislikes and stuff like that, social media and all that, because of the fact that the internet wasn't necessarily, thing during during that time. So
yeah, I mean, you've seen that turncoat from Meta though. I mean, he was saying like they knew, what they were doing with that shit, dude. That it causes like a dopamine hit and fucking.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? That him and the old Zuck did fucking basically research that shit, and of course that's why.
Right.
It's used by the government to this damn day.
Basically, the way I see it was an unforeseen accelerant. Fucking I forget what fucking he says, but fucking Conrad fucking Androff's never fucking shit, I forget the exact fucking quote, but he would have never imagined that it would have gone this fast, right? They think that's basically what the whole likes and fucking dislikes thing was. Basically, is all the fact that they took away the dislikes thing was really that, because dislikes also gets you a fucking kind of a bring you down back to reality type thing, reality check, so to speak, sometimes. And so
hurting feelings.
Right. You can see the dislikes and stuff on the studio and stuff like that in YouTube, but it's only in like a ratio form. You got to do a little bit of math to see how many dislikes you got.
I really rarely posted the Jesus tubes anymore, man.
I fucking hate YouTube.
Shut you down, dude. Yep, dude. Anything with Google's fucking ultra censorious, man. That it's ran by foreign fucks that absolutely hate you and Americans.
Yep. They hate the idea of America. They hate the way that America looks. They hate the way it smells. They hate the fucking. They hate the fucking the sea to the other shining fucking sea. They hate all that shit. I really just think it's, you know, a lot of blowback too. You know, really don't think a lot of fucking people would have fucked with America, you know, or really even hated America to that much of an extent, or hated what America is founded on, you know, to that much of an extent, if America did not, you know, eventually go stick its dick in everyone else in the world, you know.
That's what BRICS is about, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's trade partners turning their
reactionary.
back on you. Yep, smell yous, dude.
Yep, yeah, it's fucking reaction to, you know, America basically abusing their power. You know, I would say fucking, you know, America is basically the world reserve currency, and our currency is, you know, basically backed by trust. You know, it's backed by debt, which is essentially another way of saying, you know, trust that this is going to get paid back, right? And basically, we've proven that we can't be trusted. You know, we've broken that trust, and so that's this.
That even with the
where,
gold, man. Like we were the world's
yeah,
gold reserve. Same
yeah,
thing, man. With fucking you can't have your gold back. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
right. And it, like I said, it really kind of almost is like a, like, you know, oh, just give us a second chance. Like that was our second chance. We were the fucking world gold reserve currency, the world fucking reserve for gold, and basically all these other countries gave us their fucking gold, and yeah, we started printing fake money anyway. And then after they fucking found out that we were just fucking printing fake money and basically, you know, inflating the value, uh, they came back for their gold, and we said nope. And basically, like, now you guys are gonna accept these fucking, you know, promissory notes, basically. That's what we've been going on, you know, ever since we got off the gold standard. And so, yeah, we've had our second chance, you know, and it's it is what it is, I guess. You know.
Yeah, and you know, obviously, taking off precious metals destroyed the currency immediately, and that's why gold's at an all-time high. It's supposed to be that hedge. And you know, you love the old saying. Well, you know, you could say you go back on the gold standard, like, you know, Ron Paul theory, right? And it is, you know, people melt down like there's not enough gold. There's plenty enough in gold. We use gold
Right.
in everything. You know what I mean? And if we treated it like the precious fucking thing that it is, you know, there's plenty of gold.
Yeah.
But even
Yeah.
diluting that, I mean, you know, like, you know, ancient times, they did the same shit. Start diluting their fucking money. Start mixing shit with the silver, and you know, they're
Yeah.
fucking it up.
Or we could just like all agree that, you know, money is what we say it's worth, and then, you know, like as demand goes up for stuff like this, and, you know, inflation and demands and all that, we'll do like quantitative easing, and we'll just inject more money into the system, and then as the system levels itself out, man, because that's what it does when you know, magically inject more money into the system, it balances itself out on its own, and then we're going to fucking take away some of that money, man. And we call that fucking Keynesian
But
economics.
right, but they just don't take it back. They just keep printing, man.
Right.
They just keep printing and printing.
Right. In other words, fucking basically money is whatever the government decides that it's worth. I think like that's really is, you could kind of look at the you know, kind of South American countries. That's basically the way that they've, you know, ran for, you know, some time, and basically they run hundreds and hundreds of percent inflation year after year after year, and it's there's no
Resource rich countries.
right, yeah, fucking, you know, fertile fucking lands, you know, like, yeah, they're poor as fuck. Why is that? That's why.
They
'Cause
like
they're
eating dogs, man.
right. Basically, their exchange rate with their currency is basically you know, pegged to whatever they could fucking get for it. In, you know, in the world exchange market and shit, you know, and then they just fucking pump it all throughout the country.
Here's some toilet papers.
All right, good times. Yeah, man, fucking. But I don't know. We'll have to see how it all goes. You know, again, this wasn't too many major events this week, but it does almost kind of feel like a calm before the storm. Like I said, we did have the United States basically and Israel saying that Iran is planning on attacking us. Who knows? They also, again, another fucking possible angle to that one is basically Iran did not specify where the attack would be originating from. So it could fucking originate from, I don't know, could originate from fucking a Hamas fucking stronghold in one of these other nearby Arab nations, and then basically the United States and Israel is basically going to it must have been from Iran. Iran fucking ordered the hit and all this and that type of shit. It really, again, it's just war propaganda. It's just war propaganda to get us fucking involved in the Middle East again. It's like I say, that's really the only thing that I picked up from that entire fucking story. It was just like, you sons of bitches, you're gonna fucking get us attacked. I don't know. I wonder if fucking any of our troops in the Middle East ever feel like bait or something. Like, am I out here hoping that they get shot so that way they could fucking start a war in my name? Like, is that why you guys put me out here on this fucking base surrounded by fucking jihadis?
Right.
Yeah. Fucking war machine.
Yeah, that wag the dog shit, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. You got anything else you want to fucking throw in before we get out of here?
No, man. Strap up, dude. Get ready for one. It's gonna be I'm sure, a crazy 200 days right now.
Right. Yeah. To say the least, man. Yeah, if I can, like I say, all the different fronts that we have to contend with. Like I said, the number one thing to keep in mind, though, they're trying to push you into some sort of reaction. That's the whole fucking Trans Day of Recognition on Easter Sunday. That's the basically the convicting the fucking old grandma that went to go pray in fucking in January 6th. That's basically what all of these just basically what everything else is that's going to be going on this year is about. It's trying to get you fucking angry, and it's trying to get you to go ahead and react. And they want you to fucking go out there and start up a ruckus so that way they can see that they're violent. They're, January 6th insurrectionists. This is what they're all about. And so they want you to fucking do something before the election season. But pay attention to, the general sentiment around the country. The polls, Donald Trump has fucking been up in the last 27 of 30 polls. Like, the dude's fucking killing it, So just sit pretty, fucking let people know what's going on. If I can try and tell people, to fucking vote for your goddamn country. Don't let this place fucking die. But that being said, appreciate you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If I can check out this guy's channel. Links are in the descriptions below. All of our alt tech links are in the descriptions below as well. I do have a merch store on eBay if you guys would like to pick up some of these cool different types of mugs, political mugs, stuff like that. I also got shirts, but yeah, appreciate y'all stopping by.
Don't go into the Capitol.
Do not. Don't listen to fucking Rabs, man. That guy don't know shit. Peace.